Hey guys, welcome back to Dragon Age 2. Hawke and the gang have made it back to Kirkwall, and we're gonna turn in the quest that we've been working on. So first up, we need to head to the alienage.
How do you figure? I would have loved to have a brother, and a mother, and an uncle. It must be wonderful. You'd never be alone.
It is wonderful. Although it might be better without Uncle Gamlen.
Say how you really feel, Beth. Hello, Ariani. We have news of your son.
Your son has taken refuge with the Dalish.
What? But he is human. They did not even wish me to raise him among them. But they do value magic more than the men of Kirkwall. Perhaps he can have both safety and freedom.
That's the hope.
As I said, I have little money. But this is a Dalish ring that has been in my family for generations. Please accept it with my thanks.
Happy to help, ma'am. Quest completed, Wayward Son, and we received a ruined silverite. Silverite? That is really hard to say. A ruined silverite ring. God. Alright, Fainrail is safe for now, so that's one quest turned in. Now we need to go speak to our dwarven friend and let him know that we defeated all the rogue Kunari, so he can maybe get in good with the Aeroshock and get himself some of that explodey substance he's looking for. So our dwarf friend is at the docks. That's where we will head here now.
Why don't you arrest us, Aveline?
What?
We break the law, I'm pretty sure. There are laws for almost everything. You're not a bad guard, are you?
No.
That's good. Is it because you're fond of Hawke? I kind of am.
Oh, thanks,
Very
Meryl.
nice for you. Keep it to yourself.
I'd rather keep it with him.
Oh, I love the party banter. It's so good. Alright, so it looks like our dwarven friend is actually up with the Kunari, so maybe we'll be allowed to go inside?
I have business with the dwarf Javaris and your
They never let us in before.
The short mouth, yes. Enter if you must, Basra.
I don't know what that means, but thanks for letting us in. This is the Kunari compound. Cool. There's a lot of Kunari in here. And there's Javaris. What's up, man?
Ah, my right hand arrives. Summon your Aeroshock. The bargain is done. About time you showed. I've been here for hours. Illustrious Aeroshock, I am here to report that your hated Talvashoth were felled, one and all. Right? Yes, they were.
Probably should have confirmed that before
Ready
you
to
started
open
speaking,
negotiations
but
for The
okay.
explosive powder, as we agreed.
Look how big the Aeroshock's horns are.
No.
He's not getting it. Say something.
Speak for yourself.
You arranged this. You deal with it.
Well, you see, it is customary that effort deserves reward. I think I've shown how common need could benefit us both.
You asked for the Gatlock and were refused, so you invented a task and then paid to have it done. You failed your own goal. You have proved your wealth not worth, and Kunari still owe you nothing.
He still owes me.
I did his dirty work. That debt stands.
Does it, dwarf?
You said yourself there was no bargain. I'm not getting a sodding thing out of this.
This human did what you could not, something I did not expect of any outsider, and you have involved me. If you made a bargain for the Talvashoth, that debt for their lives will be honored.
Sod it all, take your coin, take whatever. Hornhead Oxman and mongrel donglords, suck your own powder and blow your head off, sod it.
Wow.
You will leave as well, human. There's no more coin for you here.
Alright, so that didn't necessarily work out the way we wanted it to, but hey, we got paid, so all's well that ends well. We also got a codex entry about the Kun, which I definitely want to read. Long ago, the Ashkari lived in a great city by the sea. Wealth and prosperity shone upon the city like sunlight, and still its people grumbled in discontent. The Ashkari walked the streets of his home and saw that all around him were the signs of genius. Triumphs of architecture, artistic masterpieces, and palaces of wealthy merchants, libraries, and concert halls. But he also saw signs of misery. The poor, sick, lost, frightened, and the hopeless. And the Ashkari asked himself, how can one people be both wise and ignorant, great and ruined, triumphant and despairing? So the Ashkari left the land of his birth, seeking out other cities and nations, looking for a people who had found wisdom enough to end hopelessness and despair. He wandered for many years through empires filled with palaces and gardens, but in every nation of the wise, the great, and the mighty, he found the forgotten, the abandoned, and the poor. Finally, he came to a vast desert, a wasteland of bare rock clawing at the empty sky, where he took shelter in the shadow of a towering rock and resolved to meditate until he found his answer or perished. Many days passed until one night, as he gazed out from the shadow of the rocks, he saw the lifeless desert awaken. 100,000 locusts hatched from the barren ground, and as one they turned south, a single wave of moving earth. The Ashkari rose and followed in their wake, a path of devastation miles wide. The once verdant land turned to waste, and the Ashkari's eyes were opened. Existence is a choice. There is no chaos in the world, only complexity. Knowledge of the complex is wisdom. From wisdom of the world come wisdom of the self. Mastery of the self is mastery of the world. Loss of the self is the source of suffering. Suffering is a choice, and we can refuse it. It is in our power to create the world or destroy it. And the Ashkari went forth to his people. So that's an excerpt from the Khun, which is the religion, or it's even more of a religion to the Qunari. It's their way of life. So that's interesting to learn more. We will learn more about the Qunari as we proceed in the game, but there was our first look at the Arashok, who was pretty intimidating, honestly, even though he has a very, very small chair. But we got our money, so let's get out of here. Oh, before we do, we've actually got lore over here about the Qunari. Perfect. The people of the Khun are perhaps the least understood group in Thedas. The Qunari wars were brutal, but so was the Chantry Schism. So was the fall of the Imperium. Some of this misunderstanding is an accident of nature. The race we call Qunari are formidable. Nature has given them fierce horns and strange eyes, and the ignorant look on them and see monsters. Some is an accident of language. Few among the Khun's people speak the common tongue, and fewer speak it well. In a culture that strives for mastery, to have only a passable degree of skill is humiliating indeed, and so they often keep quiet among foreigners out of shame. But much of it is a result of the culture itself. The Qunari view their whole society as a single creature, a living entity whose health and well-being is the responsibility of all. Each individual is only a tiny part of the whole, a drop of blood in its veins, important not for itself, but for what is to the whole creature. Because of this, the Qunari most outsiders meet belong to the army, which the Khun regards as if it were the physical body. Arms, legs, eyes, and ears, the things a creature needs in order to interact with the world. One cannot get to know a person solely by studying his hand or his foot, and so one cannot truly meet the Qunari until one has visited their cities. That is where their mind and soul dwell. In Seharan and Parvalan, one can truly see the Qunari in their entirety. There, the unification of the Qunari into a single being is most evident. Workers, whom the Khun calls the mind, produce everything the Qunari require. The soul, the priesthood, seeks a greater understanding of the self, the world, and exhorts the body and mind to continually strive for perfection. The body serves as the go-between for the mind, the soul, and the world. Everyone and everything has a place, decided by the Khun, in which they work for the good of the whole. It is a life of certainty, of equality, if not individuality. Qunari are very, very interesting people, very different than sort of any of the other races in the game, and as I've mentioned before, I'm really glad that they got an update in Dragon Age 2. They look way cooler now than poor Stan was in Dragon Age Origins, so we'll be back with the Qunari later and we'll learn even more about them. So here we are in the gallows. We need to go speak to Thrask and give him the letter that we found on that mage's body earlier. Hey, man.
We have found neither hide nor hair of the lad, Fainreal. I can only think he has fallen victim to demons or slavers.
I'm not going to tell you anything about him. I'm just going to say I have a letter for you.
I found it. It was addressed to you. It seems to be from your daughter.
My daughter? Then you know what she is. How she died. When I traced her to that warehouse, I should have forced her into the circle. My own weakness in the face of her pleas is what destroyed her. It is why I urged Ariani not to give in when Fainriel wished to hide. If only I had been so strong for Olivia.
I'll keep your secret.
You have my sympathies. Do not fear the Templars finding out.
Thank you. She is at peace now. I would not wish to see her name smeared while her ashes are still warm.
Alright, we got friendship with Aveline and Meryl, and the quest is completed. While we're here, we have two other things to do. First up, we found a map of occupied Kirkwall. So we're gonna go give that to whoever wants it. They are marked on our map, so we'll just follow that indicator.
How many people didn't make it out of here? We were lucky.
Truly. Hi, Record Keeper Taryn. I have something that may interest you.
This is yours, if I'm not mistaken.
You found it?
Sick.
By the void, I didn't...
50 silver.
Thank you.
Welcome. And then, while we're here, we also have to talk to Salivitus. That's a very interesting name. Hello, Salivitus.
Ah, welcome, my dear friend, to Sol's shop. My name is Salivitus. Please, take a look around. My apologies in advance. Our shelves are a bit bare at the moment. Actually, if you're interested, I could use a bit of help to remedy that.
What do you need?
How can I help?
It's been too dangerous to leave the city of late, and the substances I require for my creations are, of course, elsewhere.
Of course.
Perhaps you could find them. You'll be compensated for your time, have no fear. I'll also give you first pick of my new creations.
I mean, you said compensation, so I'm in.
Make up a list of what you need, and I'll keep an eye out for you.
Perfect. A discount on everything in the shop, Syrah.
We're always out and about, so I'm sure we'll come across some of the things that he wants. He wants silk glands, dragon fangs, and pure iron bark.
Spiders.
Apparently, I already had the silk gland.
The fellow you took this from didn't give you much trouble.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, so I'll come back if I find any of the other stuff. So, next up, as you can see, we're slowly but surely making through going through all the quests in our journal. Remember, we dealt with all the Flint Company mercenaries, which was essentially a bounty that Prince Sebastian Vale posted. We took care of all the ones in Kirkwall, Sundermount, and the Wounded Coast, so we're going to return to the Chantry to tell the prince that his family has been avenged, and hopefully that will come with quite a reward. So we just appeared in Hightown, we were headed to the Chantry, and on the way I see a bounty posted here. Rescue the Viscount's son. Offered on the authority of His Excellency, Viscount Marlowe Dumar. Citizens of able nature, Viscount Dumar requires your aid. His son, Seamus Dumar, has been lost to uncertain company, and a safe return is sought with all haste. Make your case of skill to Seneschal Bran at his station in His Excellency's keep, and the reward for this act shall be generous in both sentiment and coin. Honestly, sounds like a pretty lucrative opportunity. We can probably get paid well and make it in good with the Viscount. So we'll stop over there when we're done here at the Chantry. Tell you one thing, if you like quests, Dragon Age 2 is the game for you, because we have not stopped with the quests. It has just been so many quests, which I love, so it's all good. Alright, so here we are in the Chantry, and here is Sebastian.
Your family can rest now. Their killers are gone.
Excuse me, who are... My post to the Chanter's board? Did Her Grace let that stay? I thought for sure no one even read, but you say you've killed them. You have my eternal gratitude, Syrah. It is comforting to think my parents might now rest easily in their graves.
Why was your family killed?
Who sent these mercenaries?
My family has ruled Starkhaven for 6 generations. We have enemies, but none who would identify themselves openly. A distant cousin of mine is claiming rulership now, but he is a bit simple. He can be no more than a pawn in this plot.
So who might have done it?
Surely you have a guess as to who was behind it.
My parents were always prudent in how they handled our nobles. They did not allow rivalries or resentments to flourish. The attack must have come from outside. Kirkwall is our largest trading partner. I came back here to find support for my claim, and perhaps for a clue as to who is behind this foul deed.
Tell me more about yourself.
Who are you exactly?
I am Sebastian Vale, Prince of Starkhaven. Her Grace might prefer I introduce myself as a brother in the Chantry, but I could not stay after what happened to my family.
Interesting. So, why are you still alive?
Why didn't your family's enemies hunt you down as well?
That's why I took the offensive. Thanks to you, those Flint Company assassins are no longer a danger. I'm the last of my line. Unless I survive, my family will have no justice.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
I hope their deaths bring you peace.
Thank you. More than I can say. I truly did not expect anyone but me to take up this cause. Consider this in advance. When I have secured my lands again, you will be paid royally. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must meet with the Viscount and petition him for aid to a fellow city.
Alright. We got paid 4 gold. We learned more about Sebastian Vale, the only surviving son of the ruling family of Starkhaven, which was murdered in a violent coup d'etat. Sebastian cannot forget the irony that he still lives only because his family was so ashamed of his drinking and womanizing that they committed him to the Kirkwall Chantry against his will. After initially rejecting a priest's lifestyle, Sebastian was more surprised than anyone when he realized that his show of faith had turned real. Since then, his belief in the Maker and his plan for Thetis have been unshakable. Embracing his new role, Sebastian took vows of poverty and chastity to become a sworn brother of the Chantry, until word of his family's deaths forced him to take up worldly concerns once again. Grand Cleric Althena, Sebastian's mentor and friend, hopes to convince him to walk away from the struggle for Starkhaven and return to the good works of the Chantry. Interesting. We also got a new codex entry about Starkhaven itself. It's the largest city in the Free Marches, and it sits on the bank of the Great Minanter River. I remember my visit to the city quite clearly. I was taken up by the river by barge, a cumbersome vessel that moved at a stately pace, and disembarked by the city's central square, an impressive space with marble fountains and surrounded by kingly estates. Starkhaven's wealth was truly a sight to behold. A path paved in granite led up to the grandest building I've ever seen. My guide indicated that this was the residence of Starkhaven's ruler, Prince Vale. We supped at the table of my guide's closest friend. I was presented with a variety of dishes from the region. One in particular stood out. Fish and egg pie. Starkhaven's most famous dish. Huh, interesting. But okay, so Starkhaven is nearby. It's very big and it's very wealthy, so getting in the good books of the prince again, probably a good idea for Hawke & Co. I will say, too, not to break the fourth wall here, but this whole questline was actually DLC. So when I played the game on launch, I never actually met Prince Sebastian or did this quest, so this is all brand new to me, which is really fun.
If you could do anything, just anything at all, what would you do?
That's easy. Be normal. No magic. Just normal.
Oh, Bethany.
You wouldn't fly across Thedas or eat a cake the size of Kirkwall? Keep a baby griffin for a pet?
Well, now that you say it, the griffin might not be so bad.
I'd name mine Feathers.
Feathers! That's a good name. Sweet Bethany. I will protect you, sister. Alright, so here we are at the Viscount's Keep, and the last thing we need to do here in Hightown is we need to talk about the missing son. See what we can do about it. So, looks like,
if you must,
here we go.
But Viscount Dumas will see no one. If you've news of Seamus, I will relay it to him.
Fine. Tell Dumas my scouts have tracked the boy and his Canary captor to the wounded coast.
Ooh.
I'm taking a full company after them.
Well, that's a good lead.
I expect him to
See,
make a show
eavesdropping
of the
pays
reward.
off.
So many to deal with one Kunari seems excessive.
He may be Tallara. The winters leave nothing to chance. Get out of my bloody way.
Wow, she's pleasant.
Yes, what is it?
What was her problem?
If this is about a rescue, that woman did not seem the type.
She is the type I feared we would attract. As I told the others, Viscount Dumas' son, Seamus, is missing. We suspect he was taken by a Kunari. If you would like to try your hand at securing his safe return, feel free. I have certainly granted no exclusivity to the Winters and their violent approach.
Why was Seamus taken?
There must be suspicions about why the boy went missing.
Why? What have you heard?
Nothing. Until now.
There is truly nothing known. He is gone, and there have been sightings of a Kunari. The only complication is that Seamus is known to be of a sympathetic mind. He may have placed himself in danger, but it is danger nonetheless.
Why not send the city guard?
This isn't a task for a guardsman.
Yes, isn't it?
There is a concern of appearance. If we used guards, it would allow Viscount Dumas' opponents to say this admits the Kunari threat, because the city responded.
Politics.
In these times, public embarrassment is preferable to official embarrassment.
Alright, I'll bring Seamus back.
The boy will be home soon enough.
Declare it if you like, but the reward goes to whomever brings him back safe. A discussion you are welcome to have with the Winters, should you encounter them on the Wounded Coast.
So, I think it is quite clear there's more going on here than meets the eye. My gut is telling me that Seamus probably left of his own volition. Maybe he fell in love with a Kunari or something. Not sure, but I guess we'll find out, because we'll head right now to the Wounded Coast. I just realized we haven't done any fighting yet today. It's just been a lot of talking and traveling, so hopefully there's a bit of fighting to do down here. I'm kind of itching for some action. There we go. I think we may have found...
And the world's rid of one more Kunari. Easier than I expected. Call the men back. We've got an appointment with the Viscount. Isn't that right, Seamus?
Ashad! You killed him! You Vashedan bitch!
That one of their words. See, that's why you need to be dragged home. You're playing too nice with those things. I'll wager you've gone even further than that. Haven't you, brat?
Man, this lady is awful. Leave him alone.
Sounds like he doesn't want to go with you.
Competition? Well, you're too late. The Winters, I, have already claimed him.
Sirrah, if I must go back, so be it. But I will not see these murderers rewarded.
Spoiled shit! I'll cut out your tongue and charge extra for bringing you back quiet.
Yeah, wow, this lady sucks.
I could do with some entertainment while we wait for the others.
I was just saying how I was ready for some action. This is exactly what I was looking for, Janice. Down you go. Wow, they sucked. Good riddance indeed.
She said she was waiting for more. A lot more.
We're not giving you up.
Strip the camp, and we'll ready a fitting welcome.
Oh yeah, here they come. Wah! We're way too strong for these lowlifes anyway. They're nothing. Here we go, wave 2 down.
I've never seen so many corpses. So much blood.
I mean, that was a lot of corpses and a lot of blood. I can't blame you. You're doing good, kid.
We'll get through this. Hold on a little longer. There may be more coming.
Speak of the devil, here's wave 3. Whew, is that it?
Shard never lied. Never coddled. You were worth his time, or you are not. They are not the brutes others claim they are. Take me to my father, and I will try again to make him see.
So, you knew the Kunari before?
It's clear this was not your first encounter with this Ashard.
I met him soon after their ship foundered. I had run again, to escape the keep and my father. Ashard was to map the coast. to find an answer for the Arishok. I had so many doubts. Kunari have none.
Still an odd friend to have.
I wasn't aware that Kunari take many friends.
Perhaps it isn't the right word. I am the Viscount's son, bound by everything that means. Ashad did not care. We were both seeking something. That was enough.
Aw, that's sad. I think they were in love. Do you want to bury Ashad?
I confess I'm not sure what one does with a dead Kunari.
The body is no longer him, and is worthy of no special treatment.
Also, you can really see the eye mod, the brilliant eye mod I have here. Because his eyes are beautiful. Look at these stunning blue eyes.
Acknowledge it, I have no idea.
Wow.
There was much of Ashad that I didn't understand, but it was so very worth trying.
Your father is worried.
The Viscount is clearly concerned about your safety.
The Viscount sends thugs to do a father's job. I was in no danger until his help arrived.
You could have told him this was your wish.
Keep your assumptions. He doesn't hear me. He's as tired of being disappointed as I am of bearing it. And now, Ashad is dead. It's not right.
I'll get you back to Kirkwall.
Let's go, Seamus. Your father will be waiting in the keep.
Then take me to him. Father.
My son. I thought I'd lost you.
Enough, Father.
Allow me to present one Sirrah Hawke, Excellency. He fulfilled the bounty.
You have my gratitude. I hope you encountered no great difficulties on my son's behalf.
We survived.
We were heavily outnumbered, but I prevailed.
I was told the Winters had involved themselves. Was there no way to avoid an incident?
They murdered my friend. Where is the concern for that?
It was my understanding you were captured alone. Foolishly traipsing about the coast as you do.
I was not captured. I was with Ashad. The Kunari. They are not monsters to be feared. If you would just try to understand, others would see as well.
Better that you were thought abducted than to have their influence suspected in my own family. Benign or not, it's too much.
This is clearly not my affair.
Forgive me. This is a private concern of yours.
Your actions
I like how I finally have the option to just stay out of stuff. I'll let you guys deal with that. I'm going to take my money and I'm going to get out of here. Quest complete. We also got a codex entry about the Viscount, so let's learn a little bit more about him. What happened to Viscount Perrin Threnhold was a travesty. I served in the keep and my blood boils when I hear people call him a tyrant. He was a good man who tried his best to free Kirkwall from the control of those who use power for their own purposes. It's always been that way here, hasn't it? Long ago it was the Imperium, then it was the Kunari, then the Orlesians, now the Templars. When have we ever truly ruled ourselves? He tried to kick those Templar bastards out and give us real freedom. And what did that get him? Now the Chantry has chosen Lord Marlowe de Mar as his replacement. After weeks and weeks of arguing, after telling the nobility that they would be choosing their Viscount, after everyone saying it was time to use a new title, why not King? Why keep using the name imposed by the Orlesians? And after all that, the Chantry chose him. I suppose I can see why. Everyone thinks he has the spine of a jellyfish, and it does seem that way. Truly, he has the Templars on one side, the nobility on the other, and everyone expects him to solve all their problems. Yet he has no power to actually accomplish it. He keeps the peace as best he can, and I think he does a good job even if no one else does. And he loves that sad little boy. I see the way young Seamus looks at his father, and I feel for him. Locked up in the keep with no other children, watching his father be put down by every self-important windbag that walks into the Great Hall, makes me miss the days of Perrin Threnhold, even if they were chaotic. We can only hope that one day Seamus gives this city the legacy it deserves. Alright, so as you can see, we officially have enough money to go on our Deep Rose expedition. We now have 64 sovereigns, we only needed 50, so that looks good. Before we do that though, we just have a couple of quests to finish up. First of all, we need to check back at Gamlen's house for word about the warden letters we returned, so we'll go check the mail. And then we have 2 Merrill companion quests. So both of those can be accessed in Lowtown, so we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll head down to Lowtown, stop in at Uncle Gamlen's house, and then check on Meryl. Which is, I mean, funny, because Meryl's actually with us. But, you know, we gotta talk to her at her house. Home sweet home!
There's another one on the desk.
Thanks, Uncle, you're the best. Just kidding. You're kind of the worst. We haven't been home in a while, so let's see what mail we got. Oh, we got a lot of mail. Oh my goodness. Okay, first up, we have a letter called The Bone Pit from a Thenril. Hawke, I've got a lead for you. A merchant I require goods for told me that workers have gone missing from his Bone Pit mining operation. He mentioned that the missing miners were Ferelden, which made me think of you. If you're interested, go hit up Hubert in the Hightown Market. Then I have another letter from a Thenril. Hawke, I know we didn't part on the best terms. You were right. I was just trying to squeeze more work out of you than was justified. You've more than paid your way into the city. It's more tight since you left, though. If you're looking for more work, for real coin in your pocket, come see me in Hightown, anytime before sunset. An act of mercy from a friend. Proud scion of the Hawke family. I dare not contact you directly, but we have met before, and I know you to be a person of good character and unusual ability. Indulge me in a meeting outside the city, for I require your aid in a delicate task. As a token of good faith, I have enclosed a modest sum. There will be more waiting if you can help. Please come as soon as you receive this. If you do not, the lives of many innocents may be on my hands. Oh dear. Okay, well I do like getting paid up front, so we'll accept that. And we have another letter from a Thenril. Jeez Louise, she is clogging up our inbox. Hawke, you may be interested in something that's come up. A contact of mine, a fellow by the name of Onzo, is asking around for someone competent regarding a job, and I suggested you. He's always paid well, so if I were you, I'd check into it before someone else snaps it up. He said he'll be in the Lowtown Bazaar at night. And then finally, the letter we actually came for. I understand that you are to thank for the return of the lost Grey Warden letters. This deed did not go unnoticed. Please accept the enclosed reward and the Warden's blessings. Your discretion about this affair is appreciated. Alright, so out of all that, we got 2 gold, 50 silver. And we also got a bunch of new quests. Silly of me earlier to say that we were almost out of quests to do, because we got a ton more now, but that's it. May as well check in with the fam over here. What's up, Gamlen?
So, what? Are you here to gloat? Gamlen's the idiot again. Gamlen's the fool who can't hold his money when it's given in a bloody silver basket. I tried, you know, when Leandra left. But no one was ever going to live up to her.
So how did you lose the money?
I've seen the nobles in this town. Your parents must have had a fortune. Where did it all go?
Well, it's not like I stood at the side of the wharf and hurled it over.
It's kind of how it feels
I
like.
tried to invest it. I got some good tips on trade in Kunari cheeses.
Kunari cheeses!
You know,
that's what you lost your money on.
I'm not denying I spent more on myself than I should have, but I figured it'd all work out.
You figured it'd work out?
So, the best way to make Daddy love you was to steal his money?
I changed their filthy sheets and wiped their chins through 2 bouts of the cholera, and the last word Father said was... Leandra. I'm not looking for love, but at least I got the money.
And here I was, just about to like you.
Alright, so we still got a bit of bad blood here between the family. How are you doing, Mom?
When I told your grandmother I was marrying your father, she threatened to disown me. She said my children would be mongrels. My father wanted to lock me in, but she told him it's her life, let her ruin it. I wrote to her when each of you were born. She never wrote back. I'm glad she didn't die hating me.
Can we move to the estate now?
The estate is yours. Why are we still here?
Technically, the house is now property of the Viscount, since its owner died without an heir. If we went there now, we would just be squatters. But if the Viscount acknowledges our rights, we can get back more than the house. We can get back our name.
Well, luckily, we just saved the Viscount's son, so I should have a bit of clout there. That may help us. But look... Wow. Option 3 is right to the point. I'm gonna be nice to my mom and say, your mother never hated you.
Grandmother didn't want you to leave. She tried holding on to you the only way she knew.
She would have been so proud of you. You're everything she wanted in an Amel grandchild. She might have had a hard time accepting it at first, but she would have loved you, all three of you. Carver. He was such a little boy. Never had a knee that wasn't scraped or trousers without holes.
I miss him too.
He was so young. Never got to be the man he wanted.
I just keep thinking there's something we could have done. It's killing me. I remember that awful creature reaching down at 18 years of loving and feeding and raising, and that was it.
There was nothing we could do.
Blame the Darkspawn, not yourself.
The ogre would have been happy with any prey. It was my fault it was Carver. I miss him. There were 4 of us when the Blight began. It will never be over while there are just 3. I've written to the Viscount. I've an audience for after Bartrand's expedition leaves. I couldn't do anything for Carver, but with luck, I could at least give us a home.
It's a really random and specific timeline. An audience for after Bertrand's expedition leaves. But okay, I get what you're saying. That we'll come back from the expedition, hopefully have a new house. That'll be great. Oh, hey Beth, you hanging out with the doggy?
I hope Mother convinces the Viscount to give us the estate.
Agreed. How are you, Muffin?
Keep it down, dog.
The dog is not making any noise.
All that noisy dog breath, day in,
Why are you
day
the
out.
worst?
Make him stop.
Let him be, Uncle.
He doesn't sweat like we do, and it's stuffy in here. You could open a window.
There. Isn't that annoying?
You're annoying.
Ah, Blight take you.
Poor Muffin. I'm sorry you have to live here with him. I'm happy to be here, though, and clearly you're happy to see me with all those rolls. Alright, now that we're done visiting our family, we can just go around the corner here to visit the alienage and have a chat with Meryl at her new house. See what's going on. Hello, Meryl. All right, you're with us. We didn't actually have to meet you here, but I guess it is a nice place for us to sit and chat. This place is actually not bad. It's way bigger than the house that we live in. Look at this. It has multiple rooms. There's where she poops. Not bad at all. All right, Meryl, what's going on?
I didn't think you'd come. I'll find something relatively clean for you to sit on.
Thanks. Except we're standing.
Can I get you something to eat or drink? I have water.
Water's good. Oh, I'm sitting now. Lovely place you have here.
It's cozy. And your furry friends are charming.
Oh, are the rats back? I thought I'd found all their holes. I wanted to thank you for bringing me here, but I'm making a mess of it.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I could help.
I can't say that I like Kirkwall, but I'm glad to be here. I haven't exactly had many friends. Not even among my own clan. This is tricky.
Why didn't you have friends?
What made you unpopular with the Dalish?
Being first to the Keeper, I was always a bit secluded. I studied magic and history while the others were learning the Via Tanadal. It's good that I left. I'd have made a terrible Keeper. I was never that good with people.
You're doing great.
You seem to be getting the hang of it already.
I'm glad you think so. Thank you for coming to visit me, Hawke. It means a lot to me.
Well, that was an easy quest to complete. Just hang out with Meryl for a little bit. I got some friendship for her. I just have one other quest, though.
This city is amazing. Do you know I saw someone get mugged? Right outside. It was fascinating.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
How does anyone keep it all straight?
Muggings are fascinating?
Someone has jumped outside your door, and that's exciting.
It must be the Alien Age greeting.
The Alien Age greeting! Oh my god, Meryl. Oh god.
It's so busy here. So many things just get lost.
Are you feeling homesick?
Do you miss the Dalish?
I miss Haren Pival stories. The creaking of Aravels in the breeze. The city is so busy and confusing. And the elves here are not like my clan. But I'll get used to Kirkwall in time.
It's an adventure.
Think of it like a game. You can pick up all the things people drop and overlook. Maybe count them.
I think they mostly drop garbage. I'm glad you came by. I needed someone to talk to.
Wow, okay, so both quests with Meryl were literally just to come hang out with her. Which is honestly kind of sad and adorable. I'm glad we had time to chat, Meryl. I'm glad you're settling in. Alright guys, well, say goodbye to Meryl's home and also say goodbye to today's episode. We'll wrap it up here. As I mentioned before, we do have enough money to go on our Deep Roads expedition now, but we did pick up a few other little side quests, so we'll probably finish up those last couple quests in the next episode, but then we will be ready to go and proceed on this long-awaited expedition. It's taken us 9 episodes to raise the money. We've met lots of people, done lots of quests. In that time, it's been quite the journey, but I'm certainly ready to head into the Deep Road. So we'll do that very soon, and hopefully I'll see you guys back here for that adventure. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Until next time.